build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. Hello everybody, welcome to your Tuesday morning short bangers. I'm Matty.
Good morning, I'm Colin. Do you think people listen to this in the morning? Do you think,
I think some
do you
people
think
do, aye.
the commute?
Because when I get messages about it, it tends to be like folk that have listened to it on their way into work, or if they're before they started work or whatever.
It's probably a good length for a commute as well, eh? Like, you could get depends if you're listening times 1.5, of course. Because if it's only a 20-minute episode and times 1.5, you're at, what, 15 minutes or something?
Right, first question that we've got, right, it's a bit of a... It's one of these ones where we've been tagged into a conversation that's already happening, right? So take us right back to the start of it. It must be 1875. Might be a listener, might know. Could I presume you're a listener, Muzz? To the arsehole who was tailgating me on the M8 westbound, I can only go as fast as the car in front. Giving me the come on then hands when I stuck two fingers back at you was hilarious and embarrassing for you. But there again, you are in a Honda Jazz. Right? And then OG John, right? So original John, not Chat GPT John, said, I once had a Honda Jazz overtake me at the roundabout next to Aldi, just off the dual carriageway in Livingston. Are they a hidden scourge of the roads? Short bangers should discuss. Muzz says, maybe exclude the obvious ones, BMW, van, etc. Could be a lively episode, to be honest. And Ladige said, Honda Jazz hands is likely an incurable condition. I think somebody also mentioned Honda Jazz mags as well, but I can't see who
Of course they
did. I've never noticed Honda Jazz has been particularly dickish on the roads.
Not massively. What is the... So I was at Sheriff Hall. I've been to Sheriff Hall a couple of times recently. But see where I'm sitting, I'm at the junction for where I'm coming on the A7. See when you sit there and you're sitting heading towards, like, so you're coming from the A7 going towards the bypass or the Wisp or Muscle or whatever. Right, that's the way I'm facing. If you're sitting there in a queue, the amount of cars, and I think I might have mentioned something similar to this before, that come off that junction to go up the A7 in off the wrong lane is incredible. I think there's any more crashes. Nobody. A couple of you could sit there for a couple of minutes and there'll be at least two cars. I'll chop that lane to come up, and you think, how is there no more bumps or horns tooting or fucking anything? Just like, I'm not saying they're all Honda Jazzes though, but it's an interesting.
I think it is with the Sheriff Hall though. The folk who would beep at you would be the folk that ken the roundabout. I think because it's a busy roundabout and there's that many cunts that they ken what they're doing on it, that they would just assume that they were maybe wrong as well, and the other person knew what they were doing, and so they just let them away with it.
I think so.
Let them away with it. Aye, it's
because even the day
it's your place to get them around.
No, but I was coming up the day, and I was coming for the A6106, whatever it is, for the old Cockatoo was, and I think that's still there, but it's not open. And I was coming for there, and there was a van went in the lane to go towards Dalkeith, but he was going really slow, and all he was trying to do was jump the lights while they were on amber, and crawl round and just fucking force his way in to the traffic. Maybe two of them.
Mental.
Two of them. He clearly knows he's fucking fair. He's got to pass in the van what he is. He knows the road. He's just jumped to lights and he's just fucking trying to wangle his way in, force his way in, and nobody's went fucking beep. So you could give him the jazz hands or anything. Anyway, interesting.
It's one of these things. Probably like so you could get an episode on it on your own or on its own about fucking dickheads driving. Folk do mental things, mental things on the roads. You think, how'd you get away with it? Like,
I know. It's just the buzz to try it sometimes as well. Yeah.
There's a wee road goes from Bordall, right, which is just outside Dunfermline, up to Crossgates. And it's a 40 goes to a 60. And you maybe got like a mile and a half as a 60. And we were coming out of Crossgates, coming back towards Dunfermline, and it was like this. The boy was right up my arse, and there was a car in front of me that was going just under the 60, right? No loads under it. It was not they were going like fucking 40 or 50. They were maybe at 58. and this cunt's in a fucking old, like a shite car. Do you know, like just you're going, mate, like you're trying to put the foot down and intimidate folk, but your car's not going to go much faster than you're already going. Anyway, look at it.
Top speed, yeah.
Anyway, decides he's going to try to overtake to us but he's on a bend, and you're like, Tim, you can see it coming. You go, well, there's a bend and a dip there. And as soon as he's out, there's a fucking car coming the other way, and you're like, right, well, what are you going to fucking do now, cunt?
Thing is, it's the folk coming the other way. That's the
Aye.
Yeah, you worry about because you think, oh well, fuck, if he bumps it, he bumps it. But then there's folk coming the other way, totally innocent to some fucking idiot.
So they're flashing their lights and everything at him, and of course they got away with it. And then he was like, well, fuck, I'll do it again.
But do you think they do though? Because the heart must be racing after that, eh?
I think cunts like that are fucking that stupid that they just didn't. They just think fucking physics doesn't apply to them. You know, like they'll continue to be able to do like that, and they'll not meet somebody that's stupid coming the other way. Which one day they will. Do you know? And that's
that's how folk die.
Aye, that's how folk die. Right, 150k on Hanlon Hill said, how loud would the voice be in Fivehead's he'd be?
How loud or loud?
How loud would the voice be? And that's how he wrote it, by the way. How loud would the voice be in Fivehead's he'd be?
Would it make it louder because you've got a big head?
Aye, I think with him in particular, it would echo and become louder.
Aye, because there's not a big brain to get in the road like you mean. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like a fairly significant part of that question is who that he'd belongs to.
Aye.
So, aye, it would be almost audible to the outside world.
And when you're
aye, imagine how loud your internal monologue would have to be for a cunt outside to hear it without you actually saying it. Aye. That's how loud it would be.
We spoke before about death. I think that maybe took the action away, and I've never done it to find this out because mother-in-law's deaf. But I don't know how I would ask her the question. But what did deaf people hear? Kind of like if I'm thinking about, I don't know, a joke I've heard on the telly. Yeah. Like I was watching Ken Bridges last night, and later on I'll remember it, and I'll hear his voice. Or I'm reading. So I've got a couple of books to read on holiday. I've got a fucking load of them actually, but I've got a book by Frankie Boyle, like a novel. I've got Bob Mortimer's fiction book, right, to read. I've got that. It's a Summa Complex.
Complex, yeah.
So I've got them. I'll be reading them, and I'll be reading them in their voice, right? So, or if you tell me something, I'll if I'm thinking about it, I could probably imagine you saying it, right?
Yeah.
But what does a deaf person do?
I don't know, because they don't have that reference point, do they?
Aye, that's what I was. Yeah, but I don't know how you can ask that question now because I'm not taking like I've actually got a deaf person in the family, but I don't know how I would actually articulate the question. Aye, but I couldn't do it. She's 83. Right, if I was to try and articulate that, she's got a text, she's got a phone mic, but I don't think she would understand what was meaning. That's what I'm saying. Like when you hear a voice in your head, whose voice is it? She would go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I don't know how to ask the question.
I think they would get that. They've probably been asked it before.
I'll ask my wife. She's maybe asked it before. She's kind of no longer me.
Right, Tom Wallace, next question, and it's the topic is chase-related question. I take it it's a TV show. The
TV program, or getting a chase with the police.
Well, the question is, why does Angostura Bitters have an oversized label? And
I know what it means. I've seen it.
There's a picture there for our viewers.
I can't see it for there, but I've seen that. I know what it means. Is it the amount of ingredients in it? Just kind of fit in the wee bottle.
Well, Raymond, friend of the podcast, said, seemed to remember it being that near the beginning of their being, they got a job, a lot of labels or bottles, neither of which fitted each other, but it was cheap. The brand became successful and they kept it as it was recognisable. He says, I may have imagined all of this. And then Tom Wallace came back and said, he did imagine this.
Did he? Oh, it's fucking brilliant. If it had been some like
and,
marketing thing.
and Raymond said, "C'est la vie." And Tom Wallace said, seemingly one of the owner's son buggered up the label order and they just went with it. So there you go. QI.
So it was right then.
Well, sort of.
Because they've kept it.
Yeah, they kept it and it was a fucked up order
So
rather than
actually,
being they got a job lot of big labels and small bottles.
but he fucked it up. So possibly that's the fuck up.
Okay,
So
let's
I'm
go.
going to say Raymond's right.
So are we giving Raymond the point for that one then? 1
Yeah,
point, Raymond.
Raymond wins. Yeah. What was that to do with the chase?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I bet maybe it came up on the chase. Maybe it was one of the questions on it.
Okay. But Angostura bitter's a funny thing, eh? That's the thing that you don't drink. You put it in the glass, don't you? Swirl it around and then throw it away. Is that right?
That's in a
Long vodka.
Yeah, long vodka.
They actually drink it in other drinks, like?
I don't know.
Or is it like for a taste flavours of glass sort of thing? Nice.
Fuck knows. I've never had long vodka, I don't think.
You might have.
Not that I can remember.
What's the... I'll need to look that up later. Angostura bitters.
Right.
It must be, because I'm sure they don't drink it. But then what waste of fucking money, eh?
I know. Right, 150k in Hanlon Hill. Topic is Disco Inferno, and the question is: can a swimming pool go on fire?
Could it? I suppose it probably could.
You just had a wee look for a second, and you're like, Kevin, you're going. You wanted to jump in with an answer. Then I think you didn't often picture things, do you? But I thought you pictured that there. That's what your face looked like as you went. Oh,
I was
you imagined
visualising
it.
a swimming pool. I was also watching the Ross County Partick Thistle game at the same time, but I was visualising a swimming pool. They're getting a VR check in the Partick game here. Sorry, the 1-0, by the way.
Is it to Partick?
Yeah, I think the VR in this film would be a red card. Bush just came in fucking swinging a miss, eh? Fuck me. But it could, eh? It could.
Yeah, so I've asked ChatGPT because I was like, I'm sure I've seen it on films and that where the water, like the surface of the water's been on fire.
That's what I was going to say. Aye, it could. It could be. It could go on. I think it could. It would maybe be on top of the water, like you say.
So a swimming pool itself, which is typically filled with water, is not flammable and cannot catch fire. However, it's possible for certain elements in and around the swimming pool to catch fire or contribute to a fire under certain circumstances. Things like pool chemicals, equipment, nearby structures or objects. So there you go. So the pool itself, we're saying it can't, but it can, depending on the circumstances.
And I suppose if there's no water in it, it probably could even easier, eh?
Ian T says, surely we can all agree we need more silliness in our lives like this. And the this that he's referring to is a wee guy, kind of you can see that with a sort of like a big 5 feet there, right? Renting and returning 10 books a day from a local library while subtly increasing the size of my cranium with latex and makeup until they say something.
Okay, yeah. Too much time in his hands, eh?
Would at what point would you think you would say to somebody that was coming into a shop that you were running, and you going, "Your head's go for big"?
I know you wouldn't, eh? You wouldn't. That's the thing as well. I mean, what did he say? He was taking books back to the library.
Yeah, 10 books a day. So effectively, it looks like he's getting more clever as well, which is an extra dimension of subtlety to the joke.
That is. Folks still use libraries.
Aye.
Must they?
Yeah.
Kind of unis and that and all that kind of stuff, but just thinking, because you can get books for next to fuck all and Kindle and that now, eh?
Yeah.
You know, the things.
There's a library at the top of my street.
We've just got one in the school, eh? So it's not really, but that's the actual kind. It's like a public library as well.
Yeah.
What do you think of audiobooks? I listen to them.
Aye, do you know, I got a trial for Audible. I think maybe in month 2 for it, and I put one on in the car. Yes, the Irving Welsh book, and the cunt's voice fucking reading it I was like, well, I'm not
Cut you off.
buying it.
Was it no Welsh? Was it no Irvin reading it?
It was never Welsh reading it. And the guy does a good job and everything. Like I just couldn't focus on it. So my mind was away, just thinking about other things, you know. And then I'm like, that's been playing for like 15 minutes, and I've no idea what they're talking
It's
about.
interesting you were away thinking about other things, because that comes back to that topic we spoke about, but because I've tried a couple. I got a couple free for Sky, for like Kinney's Sky VIP things.
Yeah.
And there was one that seems a good book. It was like a detective thing. It was in Scotland. It was in Glasgow, I think. And I like all the kind of fiction books. And I was listening to it. I was walking the dog earlier in the year, when I had my couple of months of to fuck all, and I just couldn't get in there. I thought I'd rather actually sit and read it.
Aye.
And you're sitting saying you were away thinking of other things. I was just walking about listening to it, going, I've not taken any of that in for the last 2 minutes.
Aye.
Okay, but it's like when you're reading a book, maybe, and you're starting to doze, but your eyes are still going down the page, and you turn the page and you think, I never read that last page. Okay, it was like you totally switched off to it, but there I was going with is, my mind doesn't. I'm not thinking of something else. I'm just staring at it, or like,
just away. Vacant.
But so I'm not really, can't really get into audiobooks. Because I was thinking about maybe signing up for that Kindle Unlimited for the holiday and thinking, well, you could download books like a library for there. But I think you can get audiobooks on it, I know. I think that's all included in it. But I would fall asleep. Or I wouldn't take it in.
It's funny though, because podcasts, I listen to podcasts and
I do that all the time.
I'm engaged with them. But I don't know if the difference is a podcast, like at least two people talking.
Aye.
So it's like the different voices, or
like a bedtime story you're getting, eh?
Aye. But one person reading, I just think that I struggled with. I tried a few times. Got like a couple of Brookmeyer ones on there as well that I've started, and I think one of them I've listened to all the way through, but I have no idea like what it was.
I think it's the same. I don't think it's the same. A lot of folks seem to like it. I even got a clip. They gave Alistair Campbell's podcast that I've mentioned already, gave a free clip of his audiobook from his new book that's out. It was like chapter 1 or something, and it's him reading it. But I mean, I'm not going to read the book either. Like, but it's not a topic I was that going to read. But I just thought I can't be fucking bothered with this. Didn't listen to it all. Just going nah.
Funny
I've done that with a podcast today as well. Fucking, and I ken it's a topic that he's getting slagged about a lot now for things I'm reading. That Jake Humphrey. It was Gary Barlow that was on it. Oh man, is it? You're putting on. I have listened to some of them because I didn't mind some of that growth mindset stuff and all that. But he'll get a guest on that's fucking famous, and all you hear it's just him talking, and you've got fucking like a world record fucking songwriter here, or a fucking super
Nobel
successful businessman or whatever, and it's you I'm hearing. Like, I don't want to hear you. I'm not interested in your business. I've not downloaded this podcast because you're on it. I've downloaded it because of the person you put in the title. He's a fanny.
Graham Hunter.
Oh, I can't do it. I liked his first couple that came out with Gary Neville and that when he first brought them out. I've never even listened to the Liam Henderson one, and obviously it's kind of good because it's Liam Henderson. Couldn't fucking be done with it because I can't stand that cunt. He's such a fucking sycophantic prick. Is he still coming on after the song?
next week, I tune in for it. So the idea of doing something like wee things often, like this guy subtly adjusting his head.
Oh, aye.
We were on I was on like a manager's training thing when I was with HSBC. We went down to the training site in Bricketwood, which is down near
Hollywood.
No. Okay, I completely forgot the name of the place. Nice place down in South England, right?
Kent.
Fucking, let's go with Kent. It's not Kent, right?
Hampshire.
Nah, it's like one of these places. It's got like a posh fucking name. Like Bricketwood's got a posh name anyway. But this also had a posh name. Fuck knows why I can't remember it anyway.
What kind of area of the country then? North, south, fucking east, west?
South. southeast.
Southeast, so near London and that.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up. Where is
Surrey? There's somebody in Surrey? No.
Maybe you're just fucking shouting words at me here.
Fucking words, it's fucking places.
St Albans.
Aye,
Right.
Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire. Is it? Anyway, right. And we're in this in the training room, and we sit down. And there's rows like a sort of a theatre style, right? So they've got the trainer at the front, and then rows as sitting in the seats. And at the start of the day, what I did was just move the seat in front of me, and the two seats beside it, just forward ever so slightly. And every time somebody moved the seat, I did it for 3 days, right? On the last day, right, remember, because I was there able to, I was almost struggling to reach it with my toe. Like on the last day, but by the end of the 2 days, sorry, no 3 days, the end of the second day, I'm having to kind of lean forward in my chair, push it. And the woman, she was in the training with us anyway, she came round and she was like, I can't no fucking fit in this. And she looked at me, she said, you're a fucking prick.
Just knew right away.
Aye, it was worth it though. The payoff was good. Right. Anyway, that's us out of time. Shite story to end on. One more question.
Aye, go on then.
Right, Tom Wallace. Fireworks is the topic. We Hibs fans letting off bangers. Do they still put them in dogs' jobbies?
Well, I've never put in a dog's jobby. But you didn't see as many dog's jobbies lying about in a minute day. No. I mean, there is some, but it's not as often, eh?
Nah, you wouldn't want to have to go hunting for a dog shit to put a firework in it.
No, because I guess the purpose of it is that you do it where it's got to actually explode and cause some mess. It's just, you're not going to, you'd have to go and pick one up, bring it back.
Or you could just take the poo bag out one of the wee bins that are there. That's probably a better way to just put it in the poo bag. No, again, anybody ideas, but you could do that. Anyway, right, that is us out of time. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you want more, you can subscribe. Just go to our Twitter, click on the wee link. You can subscribe for £2 a month, or if you want to get long bangers, you can get that for £3 a month, and you get long bangers and short bangers. Right, and we'll see you next time. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.